Okay, welcome back. We're currently 1-1 after a rather disappointing loss to Mardu Vehicles. First time I've played against that deck this format. We're on the draw for round 3, and this hand is actually pretty fantastic. If our Winding Constrictor lives, it will be very hard for us to lose the game. If it dies, we still have a lot of play. Opponent kept 7, so I'm inclined to believe that they have some way to deal with the Constrictor if they kept 7. Okay. Game Trail revealing Mountain. Attune with Ether for what? Forest. Okay. So I think this is some sort of green-red energy deck. I doubt that it's 4 colors because they revealed a mountain and then they searched for a forest with Attune. Either that or they have quite a few lands in hand. I tuned for a forest because we have this Rampager, so we want as much green mana as possible. We could use Hub for double black if we need it, but really prefer not to. Whoops. Sorry about that. Alright, Mountain is gone, and they played a Heart of Kirin. Alright, well I'm gonna hope that they cannot both kill my Constrictor and crew the Heart next turn. Hopefully they err on the side of crewing the Heart. In which case, that'll be okay. Long Tusk Cub does not crew the Heart. Oh, it does because they have the energy from Attune. So they can pump it, crew it, attack. I will go to 16. I don't have anything. Alright. So now we're gonna Rishkar to get our creature, to get both of our creatures out of range of something like a Harnessed Lightning. And deal our opponent 4. I could have tapped the Constrictor for mana to play Greenbelt Rampager, which might have actually been better. But I kind of wanted to start putting pressure on our opponent because this Heart of Kirin is going to be a little difficult for us to deal with without like specifically carving out some time to cast Grasp of Darkness, which will slow us down. I still think it's likely that killing the Heart would have been better. Okay. Fleet Wheel Cruiser is annoying. We're probably taking 9 damage this turn. I suspect this is the Jund energy deck that Martin Juza, I think it was playing. So we're at 7, which is pretty precarious. If I kill the Long Tusk Cub, they have opponent has a hard time crewing their vehicles. So I could Grasp it. I could Walking Ballista for 3. I could do both. I could also just Grasp and Walking Ballista for X equals 2, and Grasp, so it has 3 counters on it. That's an option. If I assume that my opponent has another creature in hand, then I want to use Walking Ballista to kill the Cub, and then hold up Grasp, which is it's a reasonable assumption. Could also just try to get our opponent dead. I don't like that line so much because Gear Hulk kind of kills our opponent next turn anyways. Actually, I think... This is tricky. I guess leaving the Long Tusk Cub alive doesn't do a whole lot because, like, if we assume they have another creature, because then we can just Grasp whatever they animate. So I'm just going to Ballista for X equals 1 and attack to take my opponent to 8. And then even if they play another creature and crew, Ballista can block the Cub, and Grasp can take out the crewed vehicle, and then we can untap and attack for lethal. But things could throw a wrench in the works. A removal spell would be a bit of a problem. Like a removal spell plus a creature would be a problem, essentially. But it might not be a tremendous problem. Depends on what they choose to remove. Guess we'll see how things play out. We'll see what our opponent does. This Ballista is pretty dangerous with the Gear Hulk in our hand. It represents a lot of potential damage. 7, in fact. Because Gear Hulk can put at most 5 counters because of this Winding Constrictor, and then we can like deal 7 from reach. So if my opponent manages to deal with both of our bigger creatures, we can't quite lethal them. But if they don't, then there's a good chance we can. Gear Hulk is quite good. Last turn would have been a lot easier if we had this Rampager in play. Opponent would be at 12, but no. Opponent would be at 9, but we'd have an extra 3/4 in play. Okay, they crew the Heart of Kirin. I'm gonna grasp it. Before combat, so nothing tricky like built to smash happens. Like before it declares attacks. Okay, so there's a cub. Voltaic Brawler. Okay. Okay. So we really need another land. But even without another land, okay. Well, they're definitely dead now. I want to kill them all entirely with ballistas. Ballistae. Okay. Tenue. Yep. All right. Well, that was pretty solid. It's definitely just like bringing in our removal. I'm not sure about Natural State because it doesn't hit Fleetwheel Cruiser. I definitely want the Appetite though. The Murders. Liliana's not that great. Obnix and Sky Sovereign are probably both solid. With Obnixless being a little worse, but I definitely don't want them on the draw because that would be a little too slow. So we're going to take out one Gear Hulk and then I think all of our Siphoners because the opponent can get on the board really quickly, curve out, and they have some reach in the form of like Unlicensed Disintegration, which is what I suspect, part of what I suspect they have black for. So we're gonna turn into a more defensive, more tempo kind of strategy, where we're trying to get an early creature down and then just survive and convert that into some sort of win. So we'll see what our opponent does. I haven't looked at the deck list for this deck, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I could have cut a Walking Ballista, because that card is not that fantastic in this matchup. Our opponent's creatures are fairly big, but should be okay. Alright, so this is good. We have 2 pieces of removal. We have a Tunes to help us curve out, and we have a Winding Constrictor. I will keep as well. And we're on the draw. Okay, there's an Ether Hub, which is not exactly what I want to see, but we'll give it a shot. Could be useful if we draw one of our Gear Hulks. Okay. Hopefully our opponent does not have Grasp of Darkness, or Harness Lightning. They probably don't run Grasp. I don't think they're that heavy black. Oh, they're drawing plenty of black lands. If this is an artifactless Unlicensed Disintegration, Be a little disappointed that my Constrictor is dying, but that's okay. Alright. It's a tireless tracker without anything. Okay, well... my problem is they don't have any way to spend energy, so this Fatal Push doesn't do anything. Really. Play Hub. Attack with Constrictor. Opponent does not block. And then Rampager cannot turn on Fatal Push because it just sticks. Even if I hadn't played the Ether Hub. Okay. Game Trail revealing Forest, make a clue. Certainly. Now, this is the problem you run into with Fatal Push, but it's still fine. It's still a good card. I just wasn't able to quite set it up well. This is a Chandra. Alright. So Chandra is going to -3 on the Rampager, I suspect. Or the Winding Constrictor. Okay. That's fine. So we get to Fatal Push this tracker. Untap. Kill the Chandra. Cast a Tune. Get another swap in case we draw a Grasp. Draw another Grasp or like a Murder or something. Alright, so Chandra's off the table. And we're in a solid situation, except that our opponent has that clue, which is a pain to deal with. Okay. Another Rampager is pretty excellent. Lets us attack with this one. Get in there for 3. And now we have 2 3/4s. We can cast either of our reactive spells this turn. If opponent taps out for Unlicensed Disintegration. Okay. So now there's kind of an interesting question here. Destroying the clue with Appetite does prevent my opponent from drawing a card. And it will gain me effective 5 life. So I actually kind of like that line. The argument is like holding Appetite for something else, but I don't think my opponent really has any other artifacts. I spoke too soon. Thankfully, that's something that we can grasp. Alright. I take 7. Opponent gets 2 energy. But we can grasp the Long-Tusked Cub pretty easily. Oh, wow. Just flooding out. Alright. I'm going to grasp this now so that it is more difficult for my opponent to crew the Fleetwheel Cruiser. And then I'm going to attack. Like if their hand is land plus removal spell or 2 removal spells, there we go, Fatal Push, for example. It's frustrating, but they will have trouble crewing this. Oh, never mind. Scrap Heap Scrounger is just the best crewer ever. Just like, drive that thing, robot. Drive that thing. Okay, they go get a mountain, play it. So they're out of cards, but they have these 2 on the table, and that's going to be... It's going to be very, very difficult for us to deal with. Okay. Well. Rishkar can trade with the cruiser, which keeps us alive for longer. A little bit longer, anyway. And this is a very easy trade. And we just keep flooding, which is fine. I mean, we have a game 3, right? Opponent's flooding out a bit too, but they've had a bit more to do with their mana. Okay, I need to draw something next turn. Something really good next turn, because we're going to 2. That is something very good. Thank you, deck. So we can play it for 3, kill off the Brawler, block the Scrounger, or we could play it for... So we could either play it for 2, just trade with the Brawler, and then trade the Quagmire for the Scrounger, but I don't really like that. I'm going to play this for as much mana as I can. We can shoot down the Brawler and block the Scrounger. Or if my opponent has a removal spell, we can shoot down the Brawler and shoot down the Scavenger. The Scrounger. Tried to say Scrounger and Scavenger at the same time. That was awkward. Alright, so in response to the Brawler trigger, we kill it. Dead Brawler. And then we just trade for the Scrounger. And unfortunately... Oh, opponent spent an energy anyway. That's nice. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that... Like, we can't keep our Walking Ballista alive, so... We can't really gain traction. And they have another Brawler, and they could return the Scrounger end of turn, so we're just dead. Alright. Game 3. I think Sky Sovereign is pretty great. I think the Gear Hulk is fine, but my opponent's pretty removal heavy, but I kind of like it anyway. And then Ballista just doesn't do very much, so having a couple is nice, but I don't want a tremendous number of them. Now that I know my opponent does have Scrounger, I like Natural State, but maybe Natural State against Scrounger is like a losing battle. I think this configuration is probably fine. I would like to play first. This hand is really, really sketchy. If they have one removal spell on our Winding Constrictor, we have a problem, yeah. Or if they just have a fast draw. Alright, this hand is a lot better. Opponent mulliganed as well, so it's great. Definitely don't need another Gear Hulk. That is not what we are about this game. Appetite is not bad. Just need to find a land, you know? We really need to find a land. A black source specifically. Alright, that's a heart. There we go. I'm just going to cast the Harvester. We don't even know if our opponent will be able to crew Heart of Kieran next turn. It's likely, but there's also a chance they won't. And they just don't. Okay. So I feel like I just jam the Constrictor and get in with the Harvester. And then that makes my Rishkar really, really good next turn. So yeah, this is dying. But it's better than Unlicensed Disintegration. And I still get to attack for damage with Lifelink unless my opponent Fatal pushes it. Which they don't. Okay. So I'll gain 3. We have a couple plays for next turn. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. Okay, Chandra here would be a problem. Yep. Hello, problem. Woof. Because then the Heart of Kirin can block. And that's not good. Alright, I'll put a counter on Rishkar. I could animate Harvester, attack it, just to gain some life, but I would rather leave it back to block. If my Rishkar survives next turn, I can untap and Appetite. But at the very least, it'll make my opponent minus the Chandra, which is fine. So we get to like untap. If we draw an untapped Black Source, we can Quagmire the Chandra potentially. Excuse me, or just animate and crew the vehicle. But I'm not sure where we stand. We're pretty behind because of that Chandra, yeah. Alright, I'll crew in response. We're pretty far behind because of that, the Heart of Kirin plus Chandra. That combination's a little devastating. Opponent is casting a Tune, I assume for, yeah, Forest. Those basics are actually kind of pretty. I mean, I'm a huge fan of full art lands, but okay. So again, we can't really deal with Chandra in a productive way, so we're kind of forced to pass. Like, I could send Quagmire at it, but I don't really like that line. Alright, they're gonna get a free Scrap Heap Scrounger, which is definitely annoying, but they don't have any creatures in the graveyard, so it'll probably be a while before that thing can really get in for damage. I think I'm going to Appetite this. Appetite the Heart of Kirin. Okay, looks like the opponent's a little flooded. Yeah, let's get the heart off the table and gain some life. And then let's see what we draw. That isn't a Tune, which is very reasonable given that next turn we can Gear Hulk. We're not in a great spot though. This is not the best. If our opponent has removal spells, we are in quite a bit of trouble. And they haven't been playing out any creatures, so I assume they have removal spells. Just like the default assumption I'm going to make, so I'm just gonna hold up Grasp here. Opponent gets to plus Chandra again, like really run away with the game. But I'm hoping they just don't have an answer for Gear Hulk. Like they're just hoping they're just really flooded. Tune for a forest, play the forest, plus Chandra. Yeah. Another Scrounger. Okay. I think I can deal with that. Another Heart of Kirin. That is a problem. That is potentially a very devastating problem. Okay. Let's play the Hope You Don't Have a Removal Spell game. Okay. Sure. If they had a Harness Lightning, wouldn't they have done it in response to the counters? Yeah. So maybe this means that I get to crew the Harvester next turn, play another Verdurous Gear Hulk, put a bunch of counters on the Harvester, and then attack through my opponent's Harvester and Heart of Kirin and stuff. Start like gaining boatloads of life and pressuring the Chandra a bit more. Chandra's drawing them a lot of cards, but like they're a little flooded, so. Alright, so if they're attacking with their Harvester and their Heart, alright, okay. I don't really want to block in case they have something like a Shock, for example. So I'm just going to take the damage. They probably give their Harvester lifelink because they have all this extra energy, yeah. Just going to take it here. I'm surprised they didn't plus Chandra first. Because they don't have any haste creatures, but like, if they have a removal spell or something. That is a big one. That is a big one. We can kill it with Grasp of Darkness. But if we don't draw an untapped land... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. They didn't play the They didn't play land for the tracker. Alright. I'm gonna get this Ballista into play. Okay. I'm gonna kill the tracker. And the Ballista's gonna stay in play. If I can. So that Gear Hulk can do a lot of work with it. We're gonna just see what my opponent does, what they have, how they use this Chandra. We are not in a good spot, but we might be able to claw our way back into this. Drawing an untapped land would be tremendous. Alright, that's a game trail, so that doesn't do much for them. Pings me for 2, but 2 cards. There's a Cub, but they don't have a ton of energy because they had to Hardest Lightning my Gear Hulk, so that might be okay. Oh, they're just attacking for 6 here. No attacks. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna crew up this here Harvester and get on with my life. I'm just gonna attack Chandra. If they try to start blocking, we have these 2 removal spells. If they don't, then I will just Gear Hulk with a bunch of counters before that. Alright, so murder your Harvester, because Grasp doesn't work on it. Then they use that to crew the Heart of Kieran, or not. They can just crew it with the Scrounger. Yeah, so that's fine. I'll grasp that. And hopefully, gain some life. And hopefully we get to... Yes, alright. Chandra's down to a manageable level. We gained some life, so it's going to be harder to kill us. And we might be able to fight through this. This has been quite a game. Opponent's gotten a little flooded out, a little unlucky with their Chandra pluses. Not super unlucky. Okay. They're just gonna kill the Ballista and try to go all out aggressive. Which is not going to work very well against this Gear Hulk I have in my hand. Yeah. Yes, okay. I will... Opponent has lethal next turn. What is the... Oh, this is another Chandra? Is that why they were... It would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Don't think they tapped correctly, but sure. Another Chandra and another Heart of Kieran. Wow. And then they deal me 2. Okay, so this is not good. So we can Quagmire, Crew Harvester, Rishkar to put a counter on Harvester. I think that's our line. Oh, we can't do that. Wow. I just miscounted. Oh, that's awful. That's awful. Guess we put a counter on Rishkar and Quagmire then. And then I think we're just dead. But yeah, if we had one more mana, we could have done it. And then we could have gotten in for 4, gained 4, and had a blocker. Alright, well, we're going to crew this. And we have enough energy to give it lifelink. My opponent has another removal spell, we are dead. If not, we actually might be okay. Yeah, so they're crewing the heart. Okay. Yeah, we're still dead. They're dealing us 12. We gain 3 up to 10. Yeah. All right. Let me just play it out to make sure I didn't make a mistake. But that cruiser is like the best possible draw for them. Okay. Well, good games. That was rough. I don't think we really made a big mistake. We just didn't really draw well. Our deck was a little clunky, and our opponent was able to get like a Chandra that just went uncontested for a really long time. So we were in it up until like 2 turns before the last turn, I guess. Well, the turn before our opponent's last turn, I think we were in it, but didn't quite get there. All right, stay tuned. We'll try to win out. Go 3-2. Thanks for watching. Next video will be up right now.